I'll ask it directly, first of all, to Bob. I had to go and have some tests done, Bob, and had the test done. I was waiting to find out what the results were. Nobody contacted me from the GP surgery. So I phoned the GP surgery and asked, could I have an appointment to see a clinician so that I could discuss the results? I was talking to the telephonist receptionist, and she said, 1 second, please. She looked down and she said, oh, you don't need to worry, Mr. Putson. All your tests are normal. I was absolutely outraged. I was expecting my records to be private. And yet there I was having it discussed with a telephonist, a receptionist. Is this what we can now come to expect? That the GP surgeries will be leaving, rather than a discussion with a clinician, a medical clinician professional, that I get my results and I get a discussion with a telephonist to tell me what's happening. Perhaps you could answer that one. Thank you.
Yeah, so what you outline is unfortunately quite commonplace. We have a system which is in meltdown. You have hospitals that are dumping work onto GPs. GPs are too busy because there aren't enough of them and they don't have the right quality or qualification of staff. Everybody's running to stand still. And that means cutting corners. And it sounds like that your practice have cut a corner in a very damaging way, because unfortunately GPs have to a significant degree be architects of their own destruction. They've chased pockets of money without realizing the implications of that pocket of money. And a very recent example is the scheme called Additional Role Reimbursement Scheme, which 100% funds for a GP practice to take on non-doctor roles. So I'm talking about pharmacists and physiotherapists and physician's assistants, part of the de-skilling program. So they are taking away opportunities for young doctors to come into general practice, and they are, delegating tasks to people who perhaps aren't the right people to do this. So, what has happened, what you've just outlined, is no surprise. I do not replicate that in my practice. I've avoided destroying my own continuity of care. I don't delegate anybody tasks like that who cannot explain the results, and that's not good for the patient. And I expect not only you got the results from a receptionist, you probably got zero chance of seeing the same person who asked for the test results in the first place. So that continuity is gone. Now that might be a bit unpleasant for you, but think of it in this way. If we are breeding a generation of GPs who are ordering tests, never see patients twice in a row, I put it to you, their knowledge and clinical experience is going to be damaged because they're not learning from what happens to the patient. So the destruction of continuity of care, we know, is associated with higher mortality and higher morbidity and lots of preventable harm to patients. So one point we should be doing as patients is insisting that anybody making a diagnosis must be a doctor. We should not start accepting these non-doctor substitutes as the norm. And I'm afraid that seems to be what's happening.
Thank you, Bob.